Today I want to talk about manufacturing our sadnesses. Yeah, actually creating sadness. Occasionally, as INFJs. Oh, by the way, this is Tom. This is the INFJ experience. Now listen to my story, people. Last night I was coming home from work and I was just getting out. I have a night shift, so I was coming home. It was a little bit after 2:30 a.m. So I just got in the house and I was settling down a little bit, but I all of a sudden started thinking about my family. Some of my departed family. Now, I lost some loved ones in my family so far, my parents and a couple of brothers. I started thinking about old family members. Just started thinking. But all of a sudden, I started getting a sad feeling, and I started getting an empty feeling, just reliving it. But as it was happening, though, people, I have to tell you that it seemed as though I was manufacturing. It almost seemed as though it was something that I was doing. Like I was manufacturing this sadness in a way. And I thought, why would I do that? What would be the point of manufacturing it, making it happen? So it got me to thinking. Well, after a couple of seconds, it went away. Now, trust me, people, the people that departed my life, I hold very dear to my heart. But at that moment, I didn't feel as though it was genuine. I felt like it was me trying to do that, manufacture it. Now, I want to go into some of the psyche as to why that might be. Why we do this from time to time as INFJs. All right? Now, I'm going to just go back to the origins of everything, where everything seems to stem from is a lot of times things are related to our childhood. Now, if you look at a typical child, typically they have their parents to turn to. Let's say they skin their knee, or maybe they get injured in some way, and they go to their parents and they're crying a little bit, and their parents comfort them. Their parents, of course, give them, support, and they, of course, put a Band-Aid on their cut and things like that, like parents should do, typical parents, all right? Now, a lot of times what might happen, though, they might see a pattern. Some parents may be enabling, and they may give sympathy to kids that are just faking things. Now, you've heard about children faking belly aches. Maybe they fake being sad about something just to get the attention of parents or get the attention of others. And this gets to be a pattern if it goes unchecked, if you know what I mean. A lot of times these things can go unchecked, and these children grow up to be adults that know how to play people, use their sympathies, use their injuries or their emotional things like that in order to gain sympathy. And a lot of times you see that happen more often than not, especially in this day and age. You do see this, okay? Now you go back to the INFJ child. Same scenario, but one big major function is that the INFJ child didn't have that parent to turn to. This is the telltale sign. That is one thing that most INFJs say. They say that they had not the parent in order to confide in. So they confided within themselves. Maybe they fell off their bike. They went home. They weren't there. They had to find their own way of doctoring up their Band-Aid if they could, if they were big enough. And they had to come up with their own way of emotionally damaging control in themselves, basically. They had to comfort themselves in that way. All right? Because if they told anybody, they were laughed at or just disregarded, whatever it might have been. Now they grow up understanding that this is who they have to be. They have to rely on themselves. They became fiercely independent. They grew up to be strong-minded, and they became INFJ as they were. So we understand that this is part of where the psyche came from, as we developed into the INFJ. But being that we are manufacturing these at times, manufacturing sadness, and occasionally we may bring this up, is because at that moment we needed it as children, and we turned within ourselves. We actually found that comfort within ourselves. But at some point, it might have been a recognition of the fact that we were looking for strength, because something betterment came out of it. We found some kind of clarity. We found some kind of hope in that. Even though devastatingly painful in the moment, maybe we were quite hurt with the sadness, with the loneliness, with the emptiness, it still brought us to a level of clarity, of strength, of togetherness, of independence. Now, as we grow up, as we evolved from the child grew into the adult. We developed certain characteristics. But occasionally, though, the INFJ adult does go into a sad bouts through time in their lives. They go through these bouts of depression, sadness, as we know. Now, these are telltale signs that the INFJ go into these depressing moments in our lives. Now, part of it is that, yeah, they just bubble up. Things just happen, but we just run with it. They just run with it. They become sad again. They go into their depressions. They may even go into their isolation zones for a period of time, depending. Maybe it's that way they were drained. Things might have triggered this at this moment as to why they had to revert into their sadness, into their depression. But occasionally, as I stated last night, it seemed as though I was being pulled into one, like my mind wanted to revert back that way for some kind of clarity, for something. It was as if it was manufacturing this in order for me to retreat back. But I'm going to say that on occasion, though, we don't necessarily have to be depressed. We don't always have to be led into these manufactured sadnesses. We could see them for what they're worth and see them for what they're trying to do, and then troubleshoot what they're trying to do. It's our way of turning inward, not with the parent, but seeking attention from our own psyche, from our own internal guide that strengthened us. It's like we're looking for strength. We're looking for some kind of clarity in that moment. We're trying to reactivate it as we're trying to manufacture our sadness. So, but the thing is, people, the next level beyond that is understanding that this is where you're going. This is what your mind is trying to do. Now, I had told you before in certain ways is that through the meditation exercises, through being aware of our thoughts, by segregating our mind and getting out of the confusion of our mind, that we're able to pull out of these things. We're able to observe them from another point of view. Our world of our mind is always going. We don't have to be caught up in it. We can be outside of that, looking at it from afar. And when you do, you recognize it for what it's worth, like I did last night. I saw it and seen it happening, and immediately I didn't have to go there. And then I just thought about all this scenario, just came to me. The whole explanation as to why it's happening. So this is the next level, is just understanding your mind and having it strong enough, sharp enough for just to be able to reason it out and think it out. So I think that's one of the reasons, that's one of the basis of why we evolve mentally and why we should evolve mentally. So I was hoping that by recording this video, letting you see that this is what my experience was and what happened to me, it would be just a way of shedding light for you to handle it for the way I did. So again, people, it's all about minding your thoughts. It's about your soul, your spirit, having everything in a line, and just understanding where those things lead to you sometime. Okay, well, people, thank you so much. This was a quick video I thought would be beneficial. Thank you again for attending. Please give me some thumbs up. Give me some comments, and above all, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. All right. And I'll try to send another video that is in line with the one you saw this afternoon, today here, I should say. Well, thank you again, people. And until the next time, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.